Alright guys, Kremp again today. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day. So far, OpTic have finally responded to the major Pred situation, confirming they are still in regular conversation with the former OpTic man and that Hex is not closing the door to a potential OpTic Pred return in the future, depending what happens over the coming weeks. But many in the community still have their questions on exactly why Pred has been removed rather than benched from the organisation and why it appears they were cutting all ties with Pred, although it seems now that's not quite the case. Loads of questions, I'm sure, on this topic still to answer for you guys in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. First of all, OpTic Halo news. We saw this rumour a while ago, of course, what Formal was up to, forming this God squad in Halo. SSG have signed Lucid and Snakebite. The OpTic team is going to be Formal, Renegade, with then Bound and Legend rounding out the team. So apparently this is now like a done deal. We've heard rumours on this for ages now, that Formal was going to retire from Halo, was going to come back to COD, and was maybe only willing to keep playing Halo if he could form the God squad that he wanted to form. That, it seems, is exactly what is going on. This is going to be the SR team, by the way. So yeah, that's what Formal's been up to over the last couple of weeks with all this drama emerging behind the scenes. We've got to get back into the Pred stuff, right? Because yeah, the questions on this are not going to be going away, and of course Pred responded the other day. Lots of what he says seems to be bang on the money based on what OpTic said last night that we'll get into over the coming minutes, but still, the way this whole thing has been handled has had some people questioning exactly what the truth behind this matter is, and maybe it's none of our business, and that's fair enough, but equally, this is a sport at the end of the day. If we want it to be considered a sport, and these guys, you know, micro celebrities in their own right, if in a regular sport, a world championship winning player, MVP caliber player, disappeared from the team that won the world championship a few months ago, seemed like everything was all sunshine and rainbows behind the scenes at OpTic, then overnight, that player is removed from the organisation, all ties are seemingly cut, the fans are going to have questions about why that is. And in a regular sport, anything like that, you know, the rumours and the discussions on it, the announcement would, you know, come out publicly at some point or another. Yes, esports is different. Yes, the competitive COD scene is smaller. Yes, the personal stuff that Pred's going through is not necessarily any of our business. But it is, you know, it's understandable why the fans were like, how, you know, why is this being dealt with in this way, and what does that potentially mean, and also the reason why the speculation has run rife over these last few days. So this seems to be a process episode. The OpTic boys are currently, you know, getting underway. Whether anything more on this will be said, because as the OpTic guys said, as we're about to see in a few minutes time, they were kind of waiting until Pred gave his perspective before OpTic would then speak on the matter, and well, we'll analyse that here in just a couple of seconds. Shotzzy, of course, has been grinding. He is playing with Hook an awful lot lately, understandably, as his SMG duo. Thought it was kind of cool to see him and Hook and aBeZy playing again together last night. Now, whether aBeZy will ever be returning to OpTic seems doubtful, but as Hex says in a second, you know, the door is never closed to someone that was previously on OpTic. Right now, Dashy and Kenny, I don't think they're going anywhere. But obviously there has been some talk. What if Hook doesn't really work out? Could Pred come back in? Obviously, Pred said that he's targeting a return after Major 1. Other people would say, you know, how does Pred exactly know when he's going to be recovered properly? Which, you know, obviously is difficult to say. But people have been discussing, what about Simp? What about aBeZy? You know, there are options like that on the horizon, because in the same way that the OpTic Halo team has formed seemingly this God squad with FaZe and SSG after the recent Halo World Championship, maybe there's something similar in the future here for Call of Duty, because, you know, last year was a 4-team league. This year is meant to be a 3-team league, although it's not so clear that's the case right now after the first couple of weekends. Maybe we're going to get even more God squads being formed going into the upcoming season. But yeah, Shotzzy, Hook and aBeZy all playing last night, of course, with Pred now back in Australia. And, well, it seems pretty fascinating how the ties were cut. And within a couple of days, Pred was back out there to Australia with his family, obviously, you know, dealing with the situation that he's currently in. So Pred talked about this on stream, right? He turned the stream on, talked about his side of the issue. He then put this tweet out. Of course, there was, you know, some controversy about this tweet because there wasn't really any pro players in the replies. And like, as I said yesterday, it's not like the players on OpTic weren't necessarily reaching out to Pred behind the scenes, but it was still a question, right? Because this is my perspective on the matter. If, as OpTic, you didn't want the fans to speculate on what was happening on Pred or take it to the extreme, as has certainly happened over the last few days, I don't think it would have been too difficult for OpTic to say, look, thank you, Pred, for the time with the team. We're not in a position right now to comment anymore on the situation, but, you know, Pred's going to be stepping out of the roster to, you know, deal with some personal issues, and wishing him all the best and thanks for his time in the org. Like, that's all that needed to be said. Sure, would there have been questions had OpTic said that? Absolutely, on why and what's going on and all these things. But they wouldn't have, you know, cut ties with Pred in quite the manner that they did. The fact that there was no, like, thank you Pred tweet, or there was nothing like that, has fueled the speculation more so, I would imagine. And, you know, because Pred was unfollowed by OpTic, and we'll discuss that again here in a second, but I feel like it wouldn't have taken much for OpTic to just say, like, look, thanks, Pred, do a tweet about it, because, look, they've removed him from the organisation. Why they've done that is still a question. I would imagine it's partly salary related. You know, Pred, I imagine, even with the budget cut, still on a big salary. If he's not playing, OpTic are probably not in a position to be able to afford that. And maybe they don't want to, you know, make that so clear publicly. That, to me, is probably the reason why he's not on the bench, rather than, because, you know, if they're still trying to help Pred and work with Pred, you'd imagine that might be the reason. But I feel like you could well argue that if OpTic had taken that approach, lots of, you know, the rumours and speculation and drama over the last few days would have calmed down. But obviously, you know, with OpTic not saying anything, it has elevated that discussion. So, like, my opinion is, the fans, I wouldn't say they're entitled to know everything, but I think it's understandable why the fans had and still have all the questions that they do on this Pred situation. But I think generally what OpTic said was good to hear. They're working with Pred, they're in discussions with Pred every day, and of course, you know, the obvious question is, well, if you're still talking with Pred often, you're in contact with Pred, you're trying to help Pred through, you know, the personal problems he's dealing with, you know, why is he not still in the org? Not something that's been necessarily addressed. So, yeah, I'll share what they have to say, and also especially what Hex has to say at the end, where he's like, look, the door is potentially still open to OpTic.
You guys have to understand that, you know, this guy is one of our friends. He's going through a tough time. For us to speak before he speaks puts something in the air that needs not to be there, especially when it's a when it has to do with someone's personal thing. I can't discuss on something that isn't my business, the same way the Scump can't discuss on anything that isn't his business. And until Amir, until he spoke, we couldn't speak. And I will continue to help Pred the way that I've tried to help Pred, the way that we've all tried to be there for Pred. I was literally, I'm texting with this dude nonstop. I'm hearing updates nonstop. So now that he spoke, we continue to wish him the best. We continue to be here for him.
It's like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why a random person, they feel so entitled to know. Like, they have to. If someone says it's personal, I understand and I leave it alone.
Yeah.
If it's anything else, okay, maybe I try to nitpick and find out. If it's personal, I leave it alone. That's it.
Yeah.
It has to do with that person. But
I mean, you could speak on it. You were on the watch party all weekend.
Yeah.
It was like we didn't ban Pred on the watch party. We left Pred open. I mean, and people would just come in and spam Pred, and it's like they would just start spamming it. I'm like, dude, like, this is why I did this on Twitch, because I was like, dude, I can't speak on it because it's not my place to speak on. I'm not going to speak about something that I don't completely know about. I'm not just going to sit there and bullshit with my chat and make shit up, especially about one of my friends, close friends. Like, I'm just not going to do that. So yes, banned Pred's name, banned Hook's name, and that was more for me just because I can't speak about it. It's not my place to speak about it. I was waiting for AG to be able to come out, tell his side of things, say what's on his mind, because again, when it's a close friend like that, I'm not going to sit there and say things and then say something that's wrong, and then there's even more speculation behind it, and then I answer something the wrong way, and then people will run with that. And I like, on the first day that I went live, when all these rumors started breaking, all I said was, Pred's having some personal things. I can't talk about it. And that was that. I'm not going to talk about it. It's not my place to speak about.
And if someone says it's personal, I understand and I leave it alone.
Yeah.
If it's anything else, okay, maybe I try to nitpick and find out. If it's personal, I leave it alone. That's it.
Yeah.
It has to do with that person. But
if this guy says, yo, I'm having some mental problems, like what at that point everything goes out the window and fucking human decency has to step in the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All I'll say is what I continue to say on my text to this dude is that I'm here for him. We're all here for him, and we wish him nothing but the best, as always. And I never close the door with any of the players that have played for this organization and that have been that I've developed relationships with.
So I do think, again, while it was good to hear the OpTic guys' perspective, there were many in the community that were like, look, we wanted a bit more information than this, not just from Pred, but also from the OpTic side maybe as well. Look, as I say, the fans may not be entitled to all the behind-the-scenes details here, but it's understandable why there are questions. And it's pretty rare that you see an OpTic podcast episode with, 500 plus dislikes. And, one of the top comments is this: my issue with OpTic is they're telling two stories. They erased him from the org. It's already been confirmed he's a free agent, no longer with OpTic. Then Hex says he's been in constant contact and, not really giving us too much more information. And that's pretty much where we are today, right? So on the one hand, I'm very happy with this. It seems like what Pred said on stream was, a lot of what he said anyway was true. He's dealing with these personal problems. The OpTic guys have been supporting him behind the scenes and, they're wishing him the best. Hopefully Pred can come back stronger. Pred's targeting a return. Hex doesn't rule out even an OpTic return at some point. But, obviously there's been questions on that. The big point from the community side, though, is if this is all fine, then why, did they deal with Pred in the way that they did? I think that's still a question that I don't know the answer to right now. Because, to me, it just doesn't all fully add up why there hasn't been, as I say, just a thank you tweet, right? Like, would it have been that hard to do a thank you Pred? Like, and then you get Dashy replies and, Kenny replies and Shotzzy replies to say all the best or whatever, right? Like, that would have made the community much more at ease with this whole situation. But yeah, it's still just confusing to me. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just covered up with theories in my head, but I don't think I am. Like, do you guys not think this is also strange? I don't know. OpTic unfollowed Pred. OpTic Gaming unfollowed Pred. Pred lost his affiliate badge. They removed him from the branding on the stream. And sure, like, look, no longer part of OpTic, remove him from the branding on the stream. But it wasn't clear that he'd been removed from OpTic. They hadn't done a thank you tweet. They just said, hey, here's Hook in our roster. Like, it was all a bit strange. And then obviously Pred then comes on and says, look, I'm a free agent. And, I think OpTic understandably wanted Pred to address the situation first. But I don't feel like it would have been impossible for them to say, look, thank you, Pred. Wishing him the best. We can't comment on this situation now. We will do in due course or whatever. Like, that would have shut down a lot of the questions. And, it wasn't just those comments. It was also when Shotzzy was on stream and said what Kremp described as the P word. And then, obviously, Scump and Kremp were like, I can't believe he said this. Now, maybe their reaction was simply because they tried all stream not to mention the P word, Pred. And then Shotzzy just did it without a care in the world. But still, something didn't add up about this whole situation. So, yeah, intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Where does this go from here, I guess, is my question for you guys. Because Pred has come out on stream. He's given his perspective. OpTic have now come out and given their perspective. There were rumours a couple of days ago we were going to hear more clarification on this. I'm not sure we've got that much more clarification. It's good news for sure. And the opportunity for Pred to come back to OpTic is absolutely, I think, an exciting one for OpTic fans because, look, at the end of the day, Hook is very good. Pred was the man who helped elevate that team last season. Did he have his problems in and outside of the game? Sure. But did he bring the energy that OpTic have been missing for many a year? Absolutely, in my opinion. And I do think that OpTic will miss Pred as a player on the roster in the longer term. So if it doesn't work out with Hook and Pred is good to return, and OpTic are helping him to return behind the scenes, even though he's not a player for OpTic any longer, that could still be a good sign. But yeah, as always, intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. So hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
I remember one year I wanted the birds to lose so bad because TJHaLy and Seth would skip scrims to watch football games. And I'm like, bro, we're terrible right now. Like, we can't.
Wait, what year was that?
What's up, man?
That was Black Ops 4. It had to have been. We're going to Twin Peaks to watch the birds.
Dude, why are you exposing? We didn't go to Twin Peaks.
I'm so glad to get to share.
Wait, we went to Twin Peaks?
You went to Twin Peaks.
Oh, yeah. Yo, they got good tater tots. Fuck,
was
man,
like,
my wife watches this shit, man.
Bro, that
the
was-
fuck you doing?
Bro, that was like 2 years before you even met her.
I know, but fuck, she's gonna think I'm a.
Sweet Christmas. Sweet Christmas.
He just looking around like, wow, this is really super.
Dude, why the fuck are you exposing, man?
Boys and girls.